And for all of you guys that came last year, welcome back. And all the new people, thanks for coming. Once we get in there, we'll kind of show you how we do this. It's really simple.
40 folks together, 50 folks, 100 folks to come out and do this work. How much more can we move that needle in a few hours? One, we're going to see that by actually doing the work today. Two, we're going to be able to go back and see what we did last. But at the end of the day, I want to say thank you to not only our Quail Forever chapters, our National Wild Turkey Federation chapters, our backcountry hunters and anglers, but every one of you that's come out here today to actually put the sweat equity into our public lands and to preserve our public lands, to be able to make sure that we have a home for Mr. Bob White and Mr. Wild Turkey.
Several dozen volunteers can have in a really short period of time. You know, like our shirts, bumper stickers, stuff like that for BHA, say public landowner, and there's a lot of different ways that we can show that ownership for public lands, but days like today is a great way to do that. WMA is going to mean more to each one of us after today because we've put some sweat and hopefully no blood on the WMA working today.
Let's not do tears either.
No tears, no blood, just sweat and some hard work. So yeah, thank you all so much.
Now to the one after.
No.
I think we're going to be on outdoor Oklahoma. Go ahead and walk through the gate right there. Okay, so you just come in one good spray, and then this is 6 inches, so it needs 2 hacks. So you can kind of come on the other side, but you don't need to do that. You can just up this trunk, right on the blade. Make sure it gets into the wound. This tree's dead, okay? This tree will not put on leaves next year. Hi, my name is Clay Cooper. I'm the president of the Big Blue Stem chapter of Quail Forever. And today we're out here in Osage County. Quail hunting, it used to be a big deal here in Osage County. There used to be lots of quail, not far from here. The Audubon Society every year does a Christmas bird count. And like in 1986, a group of bird watchers counted over 800 quail. I think this past year they counted about 35. So as those numbers decreased, obviously the number of hunters have decreased to the point where we're really in a lot of ways, we're kind of in an existential crisis. We formed the chapter. Our chapter formed back in 2019, and right from the get-go, we knew we wanted to do something. We knew that if we wanted to get more hunters, people out quail hunting, we had to give them a place to do it. Everything's changed now. We have to have public land, good public land to have quail hunters. So that's where we started. We said, hey, let's work with the Department of Wildlife, the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife. Let's try to do some work on our WMAs and improve them as much as we can. That's one thing that we can do that kind of has a forever effect. With the management practices that's already going in place by the Department of Wildlife, what's one thing that we can do to make a difference? So we know we're in eastern Osage County. We know eastern Osage County predominantly, historically, from the time of settlement, was more of a savanna. And we know this simply because you can just see it. You see these big, giant, mature oaks just crowded out by all these younger trees. So as this land began to transform from a savanna into this more closed woodland state, that's when that's when these numbers started to kind of decrease. Targeting are these young 20 to 30 to 40-year-old oak trees. That's what we're after. So we had this idea. We started 2021 was the first year that we did this, and we had like 5-6 people. We had an area. We got we talked to the Department of Wildlife, got approved in an area to work. We had like 5 or 6 people. We basically kind of just wandered around. Now, I'm not saying we didn't do any good. What we really were able to do is even though this is lots of closed woodland nowadays, there's lots of little meadows. So we kind of were able to push some of those meadows back. But we wanted, if we were going to make a bigger difference, like A, with 2 things. We needed to come up with a better process. B, we needed more people.
We appreciate the Wildlife Department for allowing us to come out here and do some
hands-on work to benefit all wildlife, not really just quail. And as you can see, over the past couple years, the work's been bearing some fruit, encouraging. Quail are whistling and animals are using it. So I like to quail hunt a lot, like bird dogs, just like the bird hunting culture, and believe that we should have quality recreational opportunities, all across Oklahoma. So that's why we're out here trying to improve the landscape and make sure everybody gets more enjoyment out of the public lands we do have.
I'm Charlene Westmoland. I'm with Four Corners Gobblers out of Seminole, Oklahoma with the NWTF. Miss Evie said she was coming and helping, so she wouldn't be the only lady. I volunteered us to come help. And wildlife, we need more places for the wildlife to roam.
Clay had asked me to talk a little bit about some of the history on leading up to Rock Creek and what we're working on out there with Quail Forever. I've been hunting for 55 years in northeast Oklahoma and southeast Kansas. Back when I was a kid, we always hunted mostly private land. It was accessible. You had plenty of quail. As long as you had friends and family in the area, you could get into places. And not only can you not get into a lot of private land now, even if you can get in there, there's no guarantee that you're going to find quail because the management practices have really changed, probably starting back in the 90s. But once I found out what Quail Forever was doing at Rock Creek, in conjunction with what the wildlife department's been doing on their management for quail, about 3 years ago we moved back, started trying hunting different places in northeastern Oklahoma, specifically Rock Creek. And I still remember my son making a comment one day. He said, "Dad, that's the first quail we've killed in Oklahoma, and I don't know when." And so we're seeing the results of these efforts, this thinning out of the timber areas and creating oak savannas. We're definitely seeing, year by year, we're seeing more quail show up. We're seeing better habitat. So I'm really encouraged by what's going on with Quail Forever organization and in conjunction with Wildlife Department. And the Wildlife Department's been doing a heck of a job trying to
the next year we had like 12 people, and that's when we really got a process down. So really what we do is we use some kind of a hard boundary like a road or a fire break. We use onyx to then use that hard edge to then go in and draw a boundary line, flag a boundary line in the woods about 50-60 yards wide. We spread about 10 people out in a 50-yard area, and we really can put a hurting on these trees. We use hack and spray. So we're using a Mazapir 4SL mixed 1 part chemical, 3 parts water.
Cut of bare ground. We need this, because if you're a soda can with legs, that turkey pult running through this is a highway. If you're a quail chick, that cotton ball with legs, this is where you're going to track down that first grasshopper. You've got all of the plants and diversity that's attracting in all those pollinators and bugs. This is primo brood rearing habitat, just by going in and doing exactly what we're doing today with the hack and squirt, applying the herbicide, doing the work. This is the stuff birds want.
So 2022 we had 12 people, and man, we really had the system. We need more people. So we reached out to the Oklahoma Chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. Kevin Osborne, who kind of runs that group up here in Oklahoma. It was just great, and man, they jumped on board and they showed up.
Public land advocacy, so both protecting the access to public lands and then helping improve that and just access for hunting and angling in general. I wanted to get more involved in being somebody that doesn't own private land, and I had some access and lost it. The appeal of having public land was really there, and then just wanting to be able to protect it. So I had that access along with my kids and future generations. I'm the state's vice chairman and our social media manager, so I do all of our social media and marketing, and then help out with any of our events and functions and with the board around the state. But I kind of really take pride and emphasis in doing habitat projects and help organize those as well. I think it's awesome. I think it's great to see multiple organizations come together. Like, well, I don't have my public landowner shirt on today, but like our mottos, a lot of times it's public landowner, and it's just a great way to show that. Like, we're taking ownership in this WMA in public lands, coming out and people are volunteering their Saturday morning to do work. It's hot and wet and all that, but we're still out here just sweating, working together. So I think it's really great, and I think that, like Clay said earlier, we're not all siloed up. Like, we can work together and have a big group.
In 2023, we partnered with Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. We had 24 people. So we went from 6 to 12 to 24. And we, more people, bigger area you can hit. Okay, so this area we did last year, and it was pretty close canopy. If you look, you can see like the dead trees going. And what's great about this, they ran a fire through here. And what I'm kind of in, and it's hard to tell, but kind of as far as the eye can see, we've got western ragweed and big blue stem. So we've got like literally the two most important plants for quail in our region, and pretty much everywhere, anywhere, growing in massive amounts where none was before. Coming into this year, same thing. Hey, we partnered up with Backcountry Hunter and Anglers, but we had a group, NWTF. NWTF reached out to us. So like for us as our chapter, man, that just lets us know, hey, we are doing something. We're doing something good. What we're doing is right. We have other groups asking to join. Not us having to reach out to them. They're asking us to join.
Hi, I'm Evie Irick. I'm with the NWTF. Stands for National Wild Turkey Federation. Since 1973, the Federation throughout the nation has worked with the Wildlife Department, has invested over $500 million into wildlife management. Our motto is safe to habitat, safe to hunt. Really important for a turkey population that we maintain all the wildlife that we can, and conservation is a big subject with the NWTF. Personally, I grew up, my family was with the Wildlife Department, sport shooters, hunters, you name it, so it's in my blood with my family, and I have my daughter that I'd like to pass that on to. Oh my God, a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of sweat, but it's just great to be able to get together with this big group with a lot of people that have the same mindset to understand what we need to do.
So here we are today, nasty hot June Saturday out here in Osage County. We have 34 people out here working today, between 3 groups, and it's just remarkable why the changes that it can make, and just looking at these areas that we did in the past and what they look like now, it's just unbelievable. And we just have to say, first and foremost, thank you to John Rimpey, our area biologist, Tel Junkins, the upland biologist, the Department of Wildlife, and we as a chapter, the Big Blue Stem chapter of Quail Forever in general, we're not giving up. Backcountry, they ain't giving up. NWTF, we ain't, we're not giving up. Quail forever, pheasants forever, we will never give up. But we need your help, and you should join us.